100%.
So what is specifically this event we're gonna watch for everybody listening and for me?
So this is our in-school tournament, basically. And so we run it once a year in the fall. Although we may end up doing it twice a year once I talk with Courtney next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Cool. I'm familiar with this tournament then. You guys have streamed it on Facebook in previous years. And
yeah, we did it around this time last year. A little bit earlier. Looking like it's going to be probably a fall thing.
Yep.
Dude, that is a great time for martial arts tournaments. We used to have them in the spring and in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And they would go all year, but just like for traditional tournaments and kickboxing and stuff, it would always be the fall tournaments that like we would really do well in. It was just like something in the air, as they say.
Yeah. It's just a refreshing time of year, you know. Weather's changing, the air is crisp. You're no longer burning up. You know, it's
San Diego used to do one in October every year too.
Hey, look. I mean, maybe you could even give it a spooky theme. I love Halloween's my favorite, you know. Get spooky with it.
Is
all
it?
I'm saying.
My daughter's favorite too, man.
Yo,
she loves
man,
Halloween.
My Halloween stand, dude. Like, it's just the best.
So, Mark, when we put this together originally, we did it during the first part of COVID, and the idea was to not have too many people in one place. So it's actually filmed for about a month.
Cool.
Time period.
Very cool.
We'll take off and
some
see
logos I recognize.
Yeah.
I love it. Some SMAF, all SMAF affiliates now. That's pretty cool.
All right, so fight one. Let's see who we got. Roland Balmediano.
Yeah.
Love it.
Fighter cards, of course, made by Ryan here.
Versus Vince. Still
so cool.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
I will say this tournament was neat because you can definitely see an increase in skill level compared to last year's.
Just out of curiosity, is this a 5-point, 10-point? What is the system we're using?
Race to 10 points.
Got it.
And
is that one for Roland so far?
Yeah, one for Roland so far. Rose got the first point.
How many judges are you using?
It varies in these fights, but we've got at least 2 for each fight. In most of the fights, we had 4, and then for the finals, it was just us.
Now, when you have an even number of judges and you have a tie on who calls what, do you just throw the point right out and start again?
Either throw it out or it goes to the head ref. So on this one, I'm the head ref, so I get the final say. That was a nice shot by Vince.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
That looked like head shot from Roland first, but it's tough to tell.
Oh. Roland, man,
you know,
it's always interesting watching him because he is just so like precise. Roland is not a slasher. He doesn't typically go for the wide swinging strikes. That man likes a precise touch every single time. And I can appreciate that about him.
In a tournament setting, he's always going for it. I mean, he's pushing Vince all the way back in the corner every time.
Every time.
He did it to Chris last year, too.
Yeah. I think to the point that it kind of overwhelmed Chris initially.
I always had a lot of respect for Roland as a martial artist. Just it's funny you said he doesn't go for a lot of slashes because he does have such a background in stick fighting, which
Yeah,
is not to say uncontrolled, but it is a lot of slashing motion.
predominantly.
But it's
so.
also very precise. It's
Yeah.
also very precise. So and I'm noticing he's using two hands more than I'm used to seeing him do.
The
which
idea,
is very interesting.
The idea that I hope gets instilled is that you just use what's look at that. That you use what's right in the time frame that you need it.
Yeah.
Everything has its utility, and it's important to switch it up when you need to be successful. So
he's one of those guys that will be a Form 6 person forever and ever and ever, whether he knows it or not.
Yeah.
He's just going to learn whatever he can and practice and have fun.
There you go.
Now Vince is a new guy, and right by comparison, much newer than Roland.
So by comparison, he's newer. Vince came around just shortly before COVID happened. I think it was like the fall before that. He just kind of stuck around and kind of sparred with us. But he more recently began actually training.
Right.
He is an acolyte, and I am teaching him some judo right now.
He's very
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Be careful who you say that word to.
But his timing is quite good.
Everybody listening now is going to say, well, Courtney said I could learn judo as a beginner. Now, Vince is not a beginner, though. Vince has been doing combat for a long time.
He's got experience not only with weapons, but also with empty-handed martial arts. There are some things we have to work on with Vince, though, and that will become apparent in a later fight. I'm just kind of saying that just to lay the groundwork for something that does happen. Actually, in the fight with Ryan, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
These guys are not.
Just gave away who's going to win this one.
No spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Excuse me.
These guys are definitely pushing a pace.
Picking it up.
There's a term that I don't know. I don't think he made it up, but there's a guy, very famous MMA personality named Chael Sonnen, and he uses this term all the time, weaponizing pace. And it looks like both these guys are trying to weaponize pace in a different way. Like Roland is just an experienced cardio machine.
Yeah.
And
he's gonna push
Vince is a young whippersnapper who can just hold his own for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting matchup and what they're trying to do to each other here.
100%, man. It's great having guys who are so honorable. They make the calls for you. Judging is not even a problem with them. You're honoring like
it's better than the opposite way, which is I got that point.
Yep.
Nobody likes that person.
Yeah, not at all. Trust me, I don't. I've had my fair share of that.
So Vince takes it.
There you go.
Very good. Very good.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Very good.
Moving on to the next one here.
Sometimes I think Roland is happier when he loses.
So before this fight,
it's like so happy for the other person that they advanced. You know what I mean?
So this is Chico versus Christy. So Chico literally fights a ladder. This is how Chico initially learned. Like he set up this ladder, he made it into a training dummy, and he fights the training dummy.
Oh, dials up YouTube.
That's a brilliant idea. I do.
I
love how he actually put 15 years of watching YouTube videos. Like that is I wish more people would just admit it. Like, I learned how to box from YouTube videos. Okay, like I can work with that if I at least know.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He actually, he was able to do it and give himself a decent foundation. Enough that he isn't like, he isn't like a newbie tripping over his like shoelaces.
No, he's a beast.
He was in the he was in the holocron doing just fine with the Makashi class. I think he took the Gemso class.
Here's the thing with Chico. The man works so hard. So hard. And it shows in like spades. Yep. That man is like a good showing of hard work, taking you where you need to go.
Speaking of which,
right now he's doing the tournament tomorrow, TSL.
There you go. There you go.
Speaking of which, here's another hard worker, nose to the grindstone, Saber Light Knight representative. Christy is fast becoming a household name with the SMAF people.
She actually, and she has improved. I love that woman. First of all, I love her dearly. Okay. Yeah. I love you, Christy. And she has improved exponentially. So yeah.
This is evident in this fight, actually.
Really can't say enough good things about her.
She's great.
I haven't even met her in person yet, and I'll tell you right now, she's
also props to Chico and his Vegeta gear. Gotta love the Vegeta gear.
I'm not a anime guy. So
not a Dragon Ball.
Your Dragon Ball reference is lost on me.
All right, Mark, I'm with you.
I have nothing against it. It was one of those things people would come in and be like, "You see that Dragon Ball?" And I'm like, "Nah."
It's a good shot.
Look at that. Love it.
Yeah.
Very
all
clean,
my homies watched
very clean shot. Also, I believe that is the Slayer that Christy received from the SMAF scholarship right there. That she's using.
Oh. Haha. That's what it should be used for, is combat.
There you go.
We had the conversation when we were talking about that Saber. We had the conversation of, do we want to make this a shelf queen, or do we want to make this? And Kyle from Key Sabers, who built the damn thing, goes, "Guys, I'm not going to give this to you if it's not going to be used in a fight."
Yeah.
He's like, even if it's a shelf queen, he's like, I'm going to make it so you can use it in a fight. Well, shout out to Christy for knowing what to do with a weapon when it's given to her.
She's using it like a pro as well.
One thing I'll notice about both these guys is that they tend to square up a little bit, like horse stance, if you know what I mean. Like when they're moving from place to place.
Yeah. So, it's just kind of one of those things that, you just
a newbie
build
thing,
on and work on. As far as their training goes, Chico started coming to us during the summer. I believe it was just a TSL meet. Then he was interested in actually becoming part of Saber Light, and he did. And Christy, of course, is a member. They both passed their trials. Christy's learning Surisu, and Chico's currently working on Gemso.
That doesn't surprise me on either account.
Well, and if I'm lucky enough to pass my trial, he'll be my apprentice.
Yeah.
I feel like Christy could go either way with the Surisu route. She could become a purist, or she could turn it into a pretty nasty Form 5 or Form 6.
Yeah. So the idea here, and she just, I could cry. I missed that the first time I watched. She used we call them circles in Surisu, and she just used that to perfection and got a clean hit on Chico, and I want to cry. It was so beautiful. Bravo. But
it pays to practice, doesn't it?
It does. And we've only just had like 1 or 2 lessons, at least at this point in time. So anyway, Surisu, as it's actualized here at Saber Light, very good job. Chico took that round. But as it's actualized here, it's less about just defense, and it's more of kind of achieving a harmony with your opponent to create openings that you can then strike from, right? Like you can disarm any strike that comes in, neutralize it, and then create openings. That's the point, not to just play defense. Look at that movement. Look at that movement.
That's the way. That's the way Form 3 should be learned. That's the way it should be practiced for sure, because you can't really win with just defense for defense's sake. Exactly. You got to win with defense for the sake of squashing the threat.
That's it. It's defense with the aim of disarming or neutralizing.
Ooh, that was a nice shot. Who got that one? That looked like Christy, but she gave it to Chico.
Her movement is, look at her movement. She's not moving forward constantly. She's getting a side to side movement.
Yeah.
A very dynamic movement. Looks very good.
He's got to have a foot on her. No?
Yeah.
Oh, at least, yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
In between matches, he's literally jump roping off on the side here. I kid you not.
Yeah.
Clean hit.
Yeah.
That was clean.
You can tell that they're both at like a little bit different part in their training, but that they're not very far off from each other as far as like their commitment and their skill level and so forth. But you can tell that like Christy's like a little bit ahead in her training.
Right.
You know, there's just like a little bit more seasoning. Chico's still a little more raw, but it's not like a bad version of raw, because his energy output, his attention to like when he makes a mistake, you can tell he's trying to correct it.
Yeah.
All that stuff is good.
Yeah. For him to be as self-taught as he is, Chico is a beautiful example of someone being self-taught and like succeeding in that. Because he definitely has, for someone to be informally trained and be so good.
You know, some people go, extreme one way, and they kind of like, they think that because they're self-taught, they're like superior in some way. Like, what do I need a real like background in anything for? I just got it all right here at the internet at my fingertips. It's like, well, okay, I get like where you're coming from. Like, it is good to be able to teach yourself stuff, but pump the brakes. And then the other side is Chico, which is, because I'm self-taught and I can learn all these things by myself, maybe I should pay more attention to the people who have experience and pick up on those details, because I can.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be self-taught by teachers.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't pretend you're like so superior. And it goes the other way too. Like, as somebody with a traditional background, like, we can't pretend we're super superior just because we have that.
Yeah. Look,
some of traditional people can't teach themselves how to tie their own shoes. So
look, like I mentioned earlier, it's all about balance. You have to be able to get the training, but then the training is just a small part. You're not going to progress just in a training environment. You got to keep doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you can train for 3 hours like we do. You can train on Saturday for 3-4 hours and go home and not do anything for a month. You are not going to get anywhere. You got to keep working.
Nope.
And that's what Chico does. Like that. That's why he's such a good example, because he will
you
learn
might even go backward.
You will.
If that's all you do, you might even go backward, because you're going to have so much crammed into your brain and body at once, and then you're not going to touch it. Like, you might go backward. You might start sucking. So
next up,
Vince versus
me, I believe. Yep, me.
Look at that. That's a good picture.
I really hate commentating on myself in a tournament. I'm just gonna show it for this one.
So Ryan, I didn't catch your total number of years that you put on your martial arts background there.
It's
But we already talked about Vince. Give us a little blurb.
3 years of Saber Light Nights, and that's it martial art wise. The rest of it was 30 years of lacrosse.
Yeah. Side note,
You never
Ryan,
took any kids taekwondo or anything?
Side note, Ryan is started the process of his night trials. This would have happened a long time ago with COVID. But we're getting to it finally.
Ooh, very cool. Congratulations.
Look at that. Ryan, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really self-taught, but you want to talk about a guy who can take some training and know what to do with it. I mean, look, that's been my experience with Ryan.
Here's the thing with Ryan. Ryan frustrates.
Ryan, mute your headphones, dog. We're talking about you. Mute your headphones.
Ryan frustrates so many people who fight him. To the point that I don't even realize you understand that you frustrate people when you fight them. But what people don't understand, and I'm not going to spill the tea on you, but you are such a good counter fighter. It is absurd. It is absurd. Like, you have this ability to like perceive a strike that's coming in and shut it down before it gets there. And that is a rare skill to have and a hard one to develop. But it's one that will work for you all the time. Knowing how to counter, knowing how to answer a strike with the strike is just, it is Bruce Lee 101. And it works fantastically for you.
I've seen that in his fighting, and I know Ryan's a Form 5 practitioner. That's my star form as well. And I think I tell people, like, there's 3 basic types of fighter. There's an offensive fighter, there's a defensive fighter, and there's a counter fighter. That's a very, very, very basic way of putting it. There's obviously a lot more different types of fighters, but if we just had to put it into 3 categories, gun to your head, that's the 3. And of the 3, I feel like offensive is very easy to get into, not easy to do well in. I feel like defensive is very easy to like protect yourself sometimes. I don't want to say it's very easy, but it's very easy to get into that. Not always easy to win. Counter fighter is kind of the best of both, but it's also the most difficult to master because you have to allow people to throw shots at you and somehow make the decision that it's not going to work and you're going to come out the victor. It's not easy to do. You have to program the other person, and with a saber, to me, like, that's kind of I'm biased and I might be blowing smoke up my own ass right now, but to me, that's the ultimate saber form is Form 5. Just because it's so fast when you're fighting against somebody who's really good. It's so fast, and those counters are so hairline, they could go either way. So now what happens
you
here?
missed it.
Ryan
I dropped
for that
without being disarmed or anything. I dropped my blade and hit myself in the ass. So yeah.
So do you lose a point or does he get a point?
Oh, I lost a point from that. I literally cut my own ass off.
Yeah.
Oof. I have Ryan on that one.
Yeah, I know dropping your saber is always some sort of penalty in all of the tournaments we frequent.
It is 100% one. Do not lose it. No.
Sometimes is that a blade loss or somebody get angry?
That was an anger thing. So about that.
By the way, these are reversed. So that was actually round 1 was round 2. Which explains that a little bit more.
We did chat about this. And there are some legitimate reasons as to why that occurred. Reasons that may not be apparent from what was shown. I don't want to put his business out there, but there is a reason as to why that occurred. And we're working on it. And he wasn't very happy about that showcase that he had.
Sure.
He did say he was embarrassed that he did that. And it's something that he's aware of, and it's something that we're working to not have happen again.
And he's actually my tag team partner for TSL. It's not like there's bad blood between us. I was actually sparring with him earlier tonight.
As a tomato sauce blooded Italian myself, I didn't mean to put him on blast. I sympathize. That being said, don't throw your saber in rage. It's bad luck.
Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. just don't. Just don't.
It's bad luck.
Oh.
But everybody has their moments. You're allowed those moments once in a while.
I ain't going for,
and fighting is an emotional thing. Like people who, like even though you're using lightsabers, which is like it's basically one step up from a toy. It's seriously emotional to get into a conflict with a friend.
Yeah,
right? Like there's emotion going on, and you have pride, and you have hard work at stake, and bragging rights, and all that stuff. But more than that, like you want to prove to yourself that a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
I honestly
when emotions run high like that, what are you gonna do?
100%. I honestly think the mission was to get in here and get past Ryan, and I think just the frustration there when that when it's hard to do just kind of came out. But there are healthier ways.
He's had a lot of success with you guys too. Like he's seen success in your little Saber Light like get-togethers that you guys do, the fight nights, and like in the tournament and stuff. Like he's seen success. He knows how to fight. He's had experience with fighting.
Yep.
But Ryan is the bigger dog, and he's the junkyard dog, and you don't mess with the junkyard dog. And when you do mess with the junkyard dog, you want to win.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter which dog you are, though. On any given Sunday, you can win or lose. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you can become the new junkyard dog. So that's yeah. Yeah.
And man,
fighting is a thing, man.
Always good seeing it, man. It's a nice setup there.
Ryan's got respectable armor. He can actually move in his armor. I love it.
For that. The color on that belt didn't come out properly, so I got to redo that. Kind of pissed.
You okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Ooh.
Welcome to Saber Combat, everybody.
I'm throwing that one out as well. 7-3.
Yeah, sometimes hard hits just happen without even trying.
They will. It's a thing with any martial art. Prepare to feel pain. Just how it goes.
That would be proper timing, if anything, right?
Yeah.
Like when those hits that aren't supposed to be hard hit a little harder. For me, it's like it's really good timing. That being said, it sucks to be on the other end.
So it's just so elementary with Ryan. Like if you just watch every exchange, he just picks his shot. I mean, he sees it coming and just boom every time. It is just a thing of beauty to watch.
That's the roots in Form 2, Form 3.
Yeah.
To me, the precise work with the offense, but at the same time, he's so defensively economical. Like dodge when you need to dodge, block when you need to block. Don't waste motion, and because you're trying to really, any fight is really an endurance. battle. It's not really about who's going to land the right shot when, because either one could land the right shot at any time. You wouldn't be at a certain level of combat if you weren't skilled enough to land the right shot. But if you've got the better conditioning, you practice more, you've been there longer, there's just things you're going to know, you know. So,
I agree.
Yeah.
what do we got? Anthony Coffey. Do I know Anthony?
Goes by AJ.
One of the taller guys. I mean, he looks like a Viking. And I think it's against Joe.
Another respectable lifetime of backyard swordplay. Thank you for telling me. I appreciate your honesty. There's respect to be had in honesty.
And Joe has lifetime archery.
Love it. Yeah, Joe is really good. I love Joe. Good judge, good fighter.
Yeah. Oh, Joe is hilarious, man. I love Joe's like smarmy, smart alecky personality. Him and Roland are like the perfect foils for each other. It's hilarious.
Are they twins or is one older than the other?
One's older.
Oh, one's older. It's just hard to tell because they're always attached at the hip. It kind of seems like it might as well be twins.
So which one is older? I'd have to guess Roland, but that's just because of the way Roland talks.
I think is it Joe?
I think it's Joe too.
I think it might be Joe.
Roland just has that Alfred Pennyworth way of talking.
It's funny you say that because he's like a Nightwing stand.
I know.
Perfect Form 1 chop there. Perfect.
The Roland's Joe's being way more two-handed than I normally see him. Normally he's all about Makashi.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably just who he's fighting because AJ is very Form 5 and will just clear that blade.
Yeah. Like Joe is putting the Form 1 in right now, and it's making my heart sing. Back during the summer in his fight with Jason Hayden, he was putting on a Form 1 clinic, and I could have cried. I was so happy.
His footwork is excellent.
Yeah.
To be expected, but the way he just kind of slipped and countered there was all footwork.
Yeah. Or all. Right. AJ has been around for a little bit. He started with Saber Light back in 2019, but he kind of took a bit of a hiatus with his job interfering. He's good friends with another one of our guys, Evan. Evan actually, I think, is the oldest of OGs. Evan started like back in 2018, I think. But anyway, so yeah, AJ took a long hiatus. He kind of came back a little bit more with more fighting stuff. And you know, he's like it says, him and Evan have been doing backyard training for a while. And he's had some progression, you know, over the past year too.
Big time. AJ kind of scares me out of our guys. He kind of scared me. He knocked me out of our tournament. I have not forgotten that.
Yeah, he's definitely improved. He's one of those guys that's improved a lot. Him and Christy. Lots of improvement.
I know, you guys are good. You guys just
Honor.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the way AJ fights, but
and that's kind of a problem.
I've seen Joe quite a few times now. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
9-7.
Sorry. Ooh, yeah.
My Wi-Fi is just absolute garbage.
Oh, dog, I got you beat, I'm sure. I was telling Ryan before you got on, pretty sure Ohio's got like really bad internet connectivity overall, like compared to the rest of America. but I'm also in one of the worst internet counties in the whole state. So,
Oh, that sucks. Ooh,
yeah.
that is.
And I'm on a farm. So,
Ooh,
what are you going to do?
Right.
right.
Takes first round.
This is, it's kind of like they're using the same Form 1 style, but I don't know. I want to say Joe's is more polished.
That could just be experience. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
practices on their
Yeah.
own. Everyone fights on their own, and the idea is to encourage individual style and combat style. But for anybody that I teach it, you know, we all get the same foundation, and you just kind of build up from there. But of course, you make it your own. Yeah.
You notice the difference in Anthony's footwork just by example versus like the match with Christie and Chico.
Yeah.
So like when he moves side to side, he keeps his, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or 12 o'clock, 7 o'clock position with his feet. So versus like Chico was almost exclusively 12 to 6, and then he would go to the side in a complete horse stance. And Christie was working her 12-7, 12-5, but also kind of like hit that horse stance once in a while. And with AJ here, he's moving his 12-5, 12-7 all over the board and not straying from that, which is really what you want to try and do.
Now, he, of course, there's a lot of polish to be had. One thing that, is kind of to his detriment a little bit is that he lumbers a little bit sometimes. And
I'm
you
guilty
just
of the same, to be honest.
Yeah, like it's not really a problem per se, but it can if it gets out of control. It can be if it gets out of control.
Yes.
With the idea is you want to try to glide as much as you can. That way you're attached more to the ground, and you have more stability. But that comes with solo training and just being mindful of those things while you're working yourself out.
Yeah, that's good. I like the way you say that.
Yeah. That is the idea. Love that guard he does where he just holds it like right in front of his face like that and then just brings it down. That's pretty unorthodox. You don't see that a lot.
It's one of those things that you can like you kind of know exactly what he's going to do, but when he's going to do it is whether you're going to get hit or not.
Yeah.
You can you're like, I know he's going to try and, but I missed. It's one of those things, like somebody who's really good with a jab and they just keep showing you that jab, and that jab just they're going to jab, but keep getting
it's coming. Yeah. Love the honor.
Blade malfunction.
Who's the physically bigger fighter? Is it AJ?
Oh yeah, AJ by a foot.
Oh, okay.
AJ's a tall guy.
Looks like a strong dude. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at him like that dude cuts trees down for a living with his hands.
I think he does construction or something. I think he works construction.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, he's a big
Chico on the right there, dance over in the corner.
AJ's a big country boy, so
a big country boy with a fancy sword stance.
Exactly.
I saw that Bakashi stance he just hit. Little fancy pants.
Yep. Yeah, he came in when that was what I was teaching at that point.
Very cool. I kind of like how they create a little pocket. We talk about in boxing, staying in the pocket, and they were just now fighting in the pocket. That was cool.
Pocket.
The pocket with saber fighting is usually like a 5-foot span, 6-foot span, but they just took the pocket and put it into boxing range, which was cool.
Yeah.
For anybody who's uninitiated in combat or maybe kind of new to combat, like that term, the pocket, is kind of like sometimes you hear it referred to as critical range, which is like maybe I can hit you, maybe you can hit me. If I'm doing this right, I can hit you and you can't hit me, you know. But that's the pocket, and a lot of violence usually happens in the pocket.
That was a clean hit right on the
wrist.
There. Yeah.
Is this our first round 3?
It is.
Very cool. That was a competitive round 2.
Yeah.
That's a Viking salute.
Okay, so if I was a betting man, I would bet on Joe, but AJ's a strong underdog rating right now.
Interesting synopsis there, man.
Like, I feel like AJ has it in him, no problem. But I feel like Joe's just like, again, the junkyard dog. Like, you got to get past him.
Oh. Nice touch.
Ooh, was that an AJ hit? That looked like an AJ hit.
It's 3-1 right
They
now.
both got good blade work.
Very, very much so.
AJ's blade work is very good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's on display in this round more than it was before.
I love the deceptive things he does with his saber. He does very distracting things. Like he puts it just randomly over his head in unorthodox ways. Oh, it's up here, or put it behind his back. He just does all of these weird things to throw you off. It's very it's a good way of fighting. You don't see a lot of people do. A lot of people are so traditional with it. He switches it up. I think that's important.
That's probably one of those things that, like, if somebody were to try and do it like him, they would fail miserably.
Yeah.
You know?
It looks stupid and it wouldn't work.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. But he's that's just him. That's just the way he has figured out his fighting style to that degree.
And that's what
he's
it's
good,
about.
man. I love his blade work right now.
You have to figure out you have to figure out your own way, you know.
Yeah.
And he's just one of those guys that, you know, it's been able to do it.
I don't know if all the points I'm thinking I see are the points that are being called, but again, another competitive round. That was a fun exchange, a little bit of parry riposte. I'm not a huge fan of when matches are short just because it's like hit, back away, hit, back away. I do like a little bit of blade tickling. I do like a little bit of suspense and drama, you know?
Yeah.
But I also like when people are legitimately trying to win, you know? So
I get what you mean.
It's a fine line.
Yeah, I'm kind of in between. I'm kind of in between with that myself. Definitely.
That was beautiful.
Ooh. I feel like people like these two guys too, they ride that line and they know they're riding that line. Like they want to have a match that's challenging and entertaining and has a little drama to it. And he tickled my blade, I tickled his blade. But at the same time, they're clearly trying to win. They're trying to hit the other person.
Yeah. It's no games. They're really going for it.
They're doing awesome. This might be my favorite fight of the night so far.
Yeah.
Ryan had one of the more dominant performances of the night, but this is one of my favorite fights to watch of the night.
8-all.
Yeah, Ryan would definitely get the performance bonus. This would definitely be a fight of the night bonus. Wow, that was a tough point to call.
Yeah.
Nice. Good on him.
Oh, it's that little Ataru move he just pulled.
Yeah, this is hilarious, by the way.
Oh.
I don't know what he did at the beginning, but it worked.
Oh man, that was an awesome fight all around.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
That was cool.
All right. We got Brooks, and this will be Brooks versus Chico, if I remember right.
I didn't realize Brooks did praying mantis. Did I know that? Maybe I didn't know that.
One of my Kempo teachers did praying mantis. Talked about it all the time.
Right.
Good honor.
1-0, Chico.
Chico just running in there. Immediately you say fight, he goes charging in like a madman. I love it.
Like I'm overruled. Well, all right, not good enough. Keep going. Oh.
That's thrust, though.
Perfect. It's well placed too. Very well controlled and well placed. You're gonna thrust. That's how you're supposed to do it.
1. Fight.
Chico, I want you to get off that tightrope, dog. We'll do whatever we can to get you off that tightrope.
Yeah, we lateral movement. He'll tell you that he hears that a lot from me.
Yeah. Take your back foot, Chico, and move it 12 inches to either side to the open side. Just 12 inches, not more.
You just pay attention to Chico, and you're gonna notice something that kind of plays into that. So, see, I love how you pick up on things like that. Because they're actually relevant things, and it's good. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
That's what I get paid to do. People don't remember that all the time.
Was that right?
Brooks's timing is damn near perfect. So Brooks and I have been dueling for 20-something years. His timing is pretty on point.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell that Brooks fights with you because with you, the only way to get points is timing.
Yeah. Literally the only way.
20 years ago, I trained him when we were both laser tag players. We were the two best
there you go.
in the sport.
Beautiful. That just speaks to the soul of this martial art or sport, whatever you want to call it. That grassroots, that's the way it got done.
Well,
even by experienced people, that's the way it got done. So
yeah.
Well, in my opinion, martial arts, timing and distance wins a lot of fights.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You beat anyone that way.
Yes.
Really can. You can beat anyone that way.
Mm-hmm. Timing, distance, proper application of force.
Yep.
Which kind of plays into accuracy. You know what I mean? Pick the right target, hit it at the right time with the right amount of whatever, speed, power, whatever the case is. So, I love it. Again, you can see the experience gap between Brooks and Chico, but it does not to say nothing about Chico's fighting abilities. You know what I mean? You can tell there's a fighter in there.
He is a scrappy man. Chico is the most polite human being on the planet. Easily, easily. But when he gets in there, man, he is like a warrior, like a straight up warrior, So
they always are polite, aren't they? Chico sent me messages to join the holocron, and he's in there calling me sir and Mr. Mark and this and that. Yep. I'm like, dog, you're not even my karate student. You don't have to call me any of that unless you're in the dojo. And he's still doing it, this guy. So
that sounds like him.
Beautiful job. Beautiful job.
Good
Beautiful
stuff.
job. Okay, so again, Chico's got a strong underdog rating, but I am giving it to the favorite.
And fight.
But I'll be interested to see if Chico can pull this round.
Yeah, let us see.
1-0 Chico.
Yeah, what is that stance? He got into some form too all of a sudden.
Working on that.
Smoking is bad.
Good.
Don't let AJ influence you. You back there smoking. I don't want any kids watching to see that.
See, now I gave Brooks the Hutton book, so he's been studying the Hutton book with the basically stand and stab mentality. He's such a big dude, and his blade work is so nice. It kind of just rolls into everything that he does.
Yeah.
Bragg's been working on it too. Scary.
Yeah. Ooh. Some reach on Brooks.
Brooks is not a short guy. Brooks is about 6 feet tall.
Okay. He knows how to use it because Chico is clearly a tall person as well. Or at least from the way the camera looks, he looks to be at least 6 feet tall.
Chico's a little shorter, probably about 5'10".
Okay.
Check the next card when it comes.
Still a giant compared to what I'm used to seeing. I have no clue what the world looks like from 5 feet 10 inches up.
That was beautiful. Catch that? No?
Have you guys
rolled right underneath,
implemented a
came
ring
in,
out?
and bam, stuck him in the chest. Pretty.
Do you guys have a out of bounds rule?
Yeah, you gotta stay in that box.
I thought so. I thought I had read that in the in your previous rule set.
You're the spectators.
The one from
always love the spectators.
From the summer open.
Right.
He's got park randos. Yeah, you gotta love them. You know what we need? We need an on-site rotoscoper so that these sabers look amazing every time.
That would be nice.
We did a San Diego tournament, and we ended up getting the lights shut off on us, like the event center. I knew he could do it, but anyway, the event center just like canceled the lights on us, and it ended up actually being pretty cool because they had like a sign behind it, like a red glowing sign, and that was kind of our only light. And then the lightsabers looked like really bright and like vibrant, so it kind of looked like two saber wielding foes in the dark, like legit in a movie. But at the same time, it's hard to see what their bodies are doing on screen. So
very cinematic looking, that's for sure. Did Brooks lose his tip? I see a lot of red light flashing there.
Seen it too. Got a tip on there.
Oh, okay.
His blade has like a different, like it almost looks like
a
I know
blade.
Sprague and Vince were talking about putting shrink wrap, basically the heated like plastic, to try to bind blades better. And that may be what's going on there.
Interesting.
That said, the way Brooks fights, I don't think it would really help him to do that.
Yeah.
It would actually hurt him.
I thought it was like a purposeful, like going for like an unstable look or something, which would have been cool.
Could be that too. I don't know.
It looks cool.
It does.
I was
the tip does bother me though.
On purpose.
Oh. getting off the tightrope a little bit there.
4-3.
Nice leg slip.
It's gonna bleed. Oh, okay.
I love Sprague sitting in his chair there.
That's wisdom.
Yep.
Hold. 6-3. Fight.
Yeah, Brooks has some footwork.
Definitely, he's got some experience, which is good.
Work and blade work.
Fight.
Yeah. He's also, moving. He lost a significant amount of weight recently. I'm sure that's helping him, spring around a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations, because
8-4.
that'll make you feel like $1 million, and you should.
Mm-hmm.
Hold. 8-5. Fight.
Is that 8-5? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
For Brooks, I'm guessing.
you okay?
I think so too.
You minute?
Yeah. Some of the points are a little hard to see, but
Take a second.
So that one, Chico got him right in the brachial plexus, so Brooks' arm is numb currently.
Give him 10 seconds for that.
ew.
So I gave him a little bit of a recess here to try to get some feeling back.
Ouch.
Coming right in the
Not
armpit.
fun.
Right there.
Sometimes no matter how much armor you wear and wear the paddings in the right places and this and sometimes you still get hit in the most annoying ways.
That's a hard spot
That
right
just
there.
yeah.
Oh, I
Tip
just
of the
realized
thumb
this,
is another
y'all.
one. Ugh.
Brooks is wearing the jersey from back when we won a national championship in like 2002.
Wow.
That's what he's wearing right now.
That's funny. Oh, a sneaky point.
This is a very well matched fight.
Yeah. Chico's favoring that low guard there.
Is this match point?
Not yet. Brooks hasn't started talking.
Oh, stop talking.
Oh, it was.
Brooks is too busy talking.
It was too busy talking. I just didn't hear it.
Wow.
It messed up his chance.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna admit I'm a little bit surprised. Not a lot
Really?
surprised. Anything can happen any day, but I'm a little bit surprised.
Mm-hmm. Next up is me versus
Just because I
Sprague.
know how good Brooks is,
All right.
This should be interesting.
Sprague's a monster. He's very, very good.
I've seen you guys fight so many times. It's just I know it's going to be a war.
Mike is a very experienced martial artist.
Yeah,
Like very experienced. Decades
the
of
most
training.
agile big guy I've seen in a long time. He's tall as can be.
Yeah. He's the tallest out of all of us. James Rucker, who's in TSL Virginia, is the only guy taller than him. Love the white blade. It's working for him.
Right?
Ryan, does fighting Mike stress you out or does it excite you? Or is it a little bit of both?
I actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
The only person I don't
like
enjoy
your body
right now
language.
is AJ.
Why is
Brady
that?
will beat me every now and then. I'm completely good with it. AJ stresses me out.
your body language like electrified when this match started. So that's why I asked, because one of two things can make that happen: either you're scared or you're stoked.
I'm excited, but this isn't a fight that I know that I can lose.
Yeah. How did Mike manage to get this far without fighting? Right, he hasn't fought yet, has
He
he?
was supposed to fight Tony Safioti for his first match. Tony dropped out last minute, so he had to buy.
Oh.
Oh,
Very, 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 very technical fight. Even your Hail Marys are technical.
Yeah. Not a lot of wasted
couple exchanges ago. Yeah, exactly. A couple exchanges ago, there was like one or two wild strikes, but they were like a calculated crazy.
Yep.
Ryan in the Darth Vader guard. I love it.
4-6.
Nice.
Ryan, you're such a nice guy in real life. You would never know that if all you did was fight you.
He's a merciless fighter, man. Like, will
he's
wash
a psychopath.
You. Like Ryan will wash you and not feel bad about it. Like, I would not put like a 10-year-old in a fight with Ryan. He just would not spare his feelings. It would be a complete
my
wipeout.
13-year-old student did have to fight that monster.
Hey,
oh yeah.
I was gentle.
Oh yeah.
The last hit in that fight, watch it. I was gentle.
I literally a week before he went to the tournament told him like, oh, if you have to fight Ryan, like you might lose it. You might literally lose a hand, but like it'll be a good fight.
There you go.
You'll learn something out of the experience.
Lucian impressed all of us.
What a scrappy kid, man. He got in there.
He's definitely that.
Wasn't scared. He got in there.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know,
I mean, the pool he was in he had Brian, right? He got fourth in the tournament.
He fought three huge
Terry,
people.
who won the exotics.
Yeah.
Like, he fought Brian. Oh, and Brian is a big dude, man.
Yeah.
You know, like, and he got in there with him. Like, teddy bear, but like he's a big dude, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yo, Lucian, shout out to Lucian and his mom, Dory. They're both tougher than concrete mixed with nails. Like those two in sparring and weapon sparring, whatever, like whatever I throw them into, they're just like, okay. And his mom will whoop your ass in a barehanded fight.
That's hilarious.
She will beat your ass. And she won't feel bad about it either. It's like Ryan, like super respectful, nice lady, but if you get into fisticuffs, like you're going to sleep.
Yep. Yep.
I didn't even teach her that. All I taught her was that it was okay.
Good honor.
Ryan, do you fight Mike more than anybody nowadays?
No. The ones I fight most are Chico and Vince.
Okay. Yeah, Vince. Okay, that's true. I see you fight Vince a lot.
Good footwork.
The third shot.
Ooh, you can hear it too.
Oh, I'm sorry. My fault. 1-1. Fight.
Mike is so technical. Ryan's timing and distance is so good. It makes for such a stylistic, competitive match. It's really nice.
I mean,
this is probably better. Yeah, like This is probably another fight of the night candidate for you. Very nice, very nice shot.
It was highly annoying for me because I've been practicing that move for a while. I don't land it nearly as much.
That's why you messed it up. You always mess it up when you practice the hell out of it. You got your dress rehearsal out of the way though. Next time you do it, it'll be
right.
Ooh, very classy shot. Very classy 1-2-5. That might be my favorite shot. The old there's something on your chest up to the chin. That might be my favorite way to get a point.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a point and you're like, oh, that was lucky. Sometimes you get a point and you're like, I did that.
I did that. That was me. That was me.
That's one of those. That was a tough exchange. Yeah, I'm envious of how good Mike moves, man.
Yeah.
I'm like half his size, and I don't move that good.
That's what I thought too. Was Hill?
Yep. That's just years of training, and I think he's a Muay Thai, Kempo guy. I think he did some Okinawan karate.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely some Kali too. So he's been all over the map.
Those are all styles that are not afraid to take a punch either. So
yeah,
and you can see going against somebody like Ryan who's willing to throw the punches. Mike is right in there.
You want to know what's funny too? And I love this. Mike, when he first came in, that man was like heavy-handed. Like he was like a brute. He was like just bashing everyone into the ground.
Yeah.
But look at him now. Like completely turned that around. And it's less about
all precision,
trauma, and it's all about precision and economy of motion.
Yep.
I mean that change just is great. And it's just a testament to his experience as a martial artist. He's able to learn and apply. You wouldn't even know
exactly.
that. Yeah, and you wouldn't even know that, story, unless you were there. If I didn't tell you, it's really impressive.
Ryan.
The level of precision from both guys is so strong, but once in a while, like I can see Ryan kind of like they both out precision each other.
Yeah.
And at times you could tell like Mike will close that distance and Ryan will go, find the target. Like the precision for Ryan is so much, it has to take over because he's not going to get, like Mike is just going to close that distance, back you into the corner and try and stab you through the heart, I'm very impressed with that fight on both ends, both fighters. Very, very impressed.
That last move you pulled off, Ryan, was pretty sweet. That was pretty cool, definitely.
Next up, we got AJ versus Clay. That's funny because Sprague and I were chatting about how the tournament would go, and literally we predicted it on down.
Is that right?
This fight was the only question mark.
Huh. Yeah. Clay at this point, I've been out of the game kind of for a little bit.
So Clay's my brother.
Yeah.
Well, they've started off with some Some banter. Some
Clay.
blade banter.
Clay is an acolyte at Saber Light, training in Form 1 and some training in Form 7.
And I didn't see, does he have a martial arts background besides saber fighting?
He does. Hindu, ninjutsu, and something else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You could definitely see the kendo in his footwork. They have that home base stance, and they really know how to stay and make home base their own.
I can talk now. We're good now. Keep going. All right.
Flip.
Hey. 3-all.
There is a pattern that Clay likes to get into, and I'm curious if you guys will notice it or not.
I was actually proud of him breaking out of his rhythms.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I've seen about 6 or 7 offhand stab slashes to the chest. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but
so yeah, that is some of it. And the thing about it is techniques that work for you, use them. What you don't want to do is become readable.
Yeah, sure.
Which in some cases may not be a problem to someone who can't read, but for someone who can, they're going to tear you to shreds. If that's the case. So it's just kind of one of those things. It just depends on who you're fighting. But it is something you kind of want to be mindful of. I know one thing we were working on, when Clay was, more active was getting those feet moving a little bit more and being a bit more springy in your step, not being so planted, to kind of help switch up those strikes to make things dynamic.
I had a similar conversation with somebody about their footwork, like being readable, in that every time they came in for a committed strike, they would take almost all of the weight off of their back foot. And basically, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. You've seen this with, it's not even beginners. Sometimes it's with experienced people too, but like they get so committed to the forward motion that they totally forget, like, to balance their stance out, and they'll bring their rear foot really close to their front foot and all their weights up forward. And there's lots of things you could do from there in a sword fight, but if you're sparring like empty hand too, there's even more things you can take down. There's lots of stuff you can do to that person. So, any pattern has to also have variation, or what is it? Rhythm, break the rhythm. Rhythm, break the rhythm.
Yep.
Predictable.
Yeah, he's got other techniques for sure. He's got that cut to the diagonal to the shoulder. That's a really good technique for him.
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh.
Take your time, feel them out.
I think he's probably doing what I like to do too, which is like I hit the hands, I'll hit some easier targets, elbow, hilt.
Yeah.
But I want to hit you in the head. I want to hit you in the chest. I want those high value targets just because, again, like I'm trying to prove something to myself that I can hit those high value targets.
That's me too.
Sometimes
and honestly,
I get into that
sometimes to
rhythm.
my detriment. That is what I do.
That was pretty.
Exactly. Yeah. So I understand what he's kind of getting to, that like sometimes you get into a pattern of strikes or you get into certain target areas that you keep spamming. It's all in the nature of good fun though.
Yeah it is at the end of the day, 100%.
But you know, both these guys clearly know how to fight. Sometimes when you do know what you're doing, you go back to that well and you sort of like, again, to use the word, you spam certain moves or whatever, just because like you said, you know, it works, but
Yeah,
you can't show them your whole hand.
that's the thing.
You have to still have a card or two to whip out when you need it.
Yeah, it's just sometimes when you you know, you get in the heat of the fight and you know you get jumbled up in your head, you just fall back on what works. This carnal nature comes in, and if it works for you, you're just going to keep tossing it out. You're just going to get caught in that circle, you know.
One thing during this fight, AJ's not able to clear.
So I slide out. I was like, yeah, stop.
Yeah,
Right.
And I screwed this.
If he
won,
good.
If he would have picked up on the pattern that Clay is showing, he could have taken them apart. But he just had problems doing that.
I see disarm opportunities all over the place for Anthony. I see like tons of disarm opportunities.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, why don't I just disarm him? That is a really difficult thing to actually accomplish.
It is. It's not easy. It's not easy. Clean. That was clean.
It's a both.
So how much pride is on the line between these two guys right now?
It's fairly light. They haven't fought each other a whole lot recently.
Okay.
They're not rivals like Clay and Chris are.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Clay and Chris. It'd be literally a grudge match from hell.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about like two Sith, like, you know, that's like them. That's like a true rule of two relationship right there.
Yeah.
It can be only one true Sith.
Deep cuts.
Fortunately, both of those Sith are active as they should be.
That's funny.
8-6.
Clay, I will say this: Clay's hits they hit very cleanly, and like clearly, like when he lands a hit, it is clear that hit landed. But not to the point that it's excessive power out of control. It's just a nice, satisfying, clean hit, and I like that very much. Not a grazing, little piddly hit. Very good.
You got that one.
There you go.
3-rounder.
Nice. Very nice.
Fighters ready. Rest ready. Fight.
Yeah.
So Clay is definitely not this egregious when it comes to hitting the well up for answers. But I have a friend who had an amateur MMA fight a month or two ago, and man, he looked real good in camp. Like, I was watching him spar with another friend of mine who they were flowing. He was looking good, creative, using kicks. He's not much of a kicker. He's using good kicks. Takedowns look great. His wrestling looks awesome. He goes into this fight and he goes back to the two moves that he always uses on the plebes in practice. You know,
Oh, really?
His overhand right and his left hook to the body. And the other guy, like, he got hit a couple times, picked up on the pattern, and took my homie down and ground and pounded him into the hospital.
Oh.
So, I mean, you know, it's like I said, Clay's nowhere near that egregious in terms of what we're talking about. But if that's how egregious you get, you will lose in spectacular fashion, just like that. You know?
Yeah.
Talk about knocking yourself out.
It's something to be said about, you know, staying as dynamic as possible. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you can. Like, you know, you have a toolkit. Why would you just go to work with the screwdriver, you know?
Yeah.
Clay's showing more than a screwdriver, for sure. We wouldn't be in a 3-round fight if not.
Yeah. And that is true.
Alan, against AJ,
I think
no slouch, and he took out Joe, who is really no slouch.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point.
Man, that hit to the head just was fantastic. It was with authority.
You guys might
bad dog.
You guys might know better than I do, but doesn't kendo have a very limited set of targets, especially by comparison to lightsaber fighting?
I do believe so, and I actually believe the types of striking techniques are limited too. I don't think there's a lot in the arsenal there.
And what you can do to which target, I think, is also limited.
Yeah, but it's just about making the stuff work, and it works.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. I think I can see. I'm sort of like putting Clay together in my head now. You know what I mean? I think a lot of these factors, because that's why he's going for the chest shots and the head shots, because that's what gets you the nod in kendo.
Yeah.
Those shoulder strikes, chest strikes, head strikes. I think you still get points for the hands, but you know, you want to chop somebody's head off,
you
know, with a samurai sword. That's the goal. So I can see where, like, I'm sort of just like formulating what kind. I feel like he would be the type of person I'd love to spar with and practice with, you know, because I would figure out where I'm limiting myself with my own experience, and I feel like I would pick up on that, because there's something to be said about the basics in kendo. I mean, they have basics down to a freaking science.
Yeah.
That's why dudes like, you know, he's probably gotten a million shout outs over the last 10 years, but dudes like Ryan Kappas, just like, that he doesn't come with anything that we haven't seen before. He just comes with it at such a high level that, like, it's really hard to touch him.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Good Kendoka is a good Kendoka, definitely.
It's a great root system to have in your fighting. I think Clay is a really phenomenal fighter.
Yeah.
These guys are putting on a show, the both of them.
Can I just say, Clay's blade looks like an actual lightsaber too, by the way. Like, that red reminds me of like a movie.
It does.
Red.
It's super clean looking. Super clean looking. Oh. Those boys deserve, you know, we didn't talk about Anthony nearly enough, but those boys both deserve a round of applause for that fight.
Yeah.
That was a very good fight. Next
Yeah.
up, Chico versus
What do we
Clay,
got
I
here?
believe.
Chico again.
Yep, 5'10" and 5'10", same height.
Aikido and Judo. No, Judo, not Judo.
Salute and fight.
Okay.
Oh, Chico bringing them alive now. You can't be flat-footed with someone like that. There's something in this fight though I want you to watch with Chico. Look at his legs. You see that? You see?
Yep.
Gotta keep your body aligned. Gotta keep your structure together. That's a good way to injure
That was
yourself.
actually a pretty bad twist. Like that had him down for like 2 weeks after that.
Okay, go. Fight him, fight him, fight him.
If you work on nothing else as a beginner, that word has a bad connotation. Beginner's not a bad word. There's no shame in that. There's no harm in that. There's no foul. But when you're a beginner, you got to work your stances. You got to really work your stances.
100%. Yep. The boring stuff is what you got to do all the time.
Yeah, I still sometimes I'll look at video of me or look in the mirror when I'm training, and I'll be like, who is letting me get away with this dog crap stance? Like, I know better than this. Somebody better keep me accountable.
Yeah.
You know? So you got to work on your stances and you got to work on transitionings. We call it footwork, but that's just a fancy way of saying like moving from one place to another without tripping and falling or breaking your own ankle.
That's what it is. Yep.
You got to work on it. And the experienced people, they have to work on it just as much. They just don't remember that all the time. Oh, we're experienced. Yeah, but still got to practice. Shut up and train. Shut up and train. When you have potential, though, like I see so much of it. Like Chico's just so hungry. You gotta now practice the good stuff. You gotta practice the details. You gotta incorporate it early.
It looked like you got him.
The dude is insatiable, man. He just cannot stop himself. He can't stand still. You know, if somebody like that, you just have to be on your toes because he's not going to stop unless you stop him.
Here I am telling him to get in front of the mirror and stand still.
It could be what he needs to do. It could be what he needs to do. I'm saying.
Oh man, it's so funny.
A lot to say about stillness, man.
Was that Clay's hit to the arm there?
That was Chico.
Okay. I'll tell on that one.
Where man, Clay's blade looks like someone like put VFX over it. That's how good it looks.
It's really a good looking,
thick
red.
Just so you know, though, he's actually using my blade.
Is that right?
That's just so that's actually a blood orange blade.
Nice. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
close.
Those greenhorns, they throw me off sometimes. I feel for Clay right now. Like this fight that he's in is
Round one.
It's a situation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. It is a situation.
Who did that round go to?
Chico.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think just his unpredictability, his kind of erratic motion, like it's definitely throwing Clay off a little bit.
Yeah, that could be nerve-wracking if you don't know how to deal with it.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely 100%.
way easier to spar with a black belt than it is to spar with a white belt.
Mhm.
And white belts keep me up at night sometimes. They stress me the hell out.
We had a nice talk about that in the Discord server the other day.
Oh yeah,
The white belts, man, they'll hurt you.
they will mess you up in a heartbeat. And then they'll be all proud of it too. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know I." But like in their head, they're like, "I messed up the teacher."
Oh,
You're
okay.
like, "Bro,
You know, I could have put your lights out if I wanted to.
yeah." Thou shalt not strike back in anger. Oh man, there's a kid who's been training with us for a few months. He's you know, he's maybe like, he's not white belt level. He's maybe like purple belt level now, and you know, still very much a beginner. But like once in a while, he'll catch me with something, and I know he's proud of himself for it. And
yeah.
one night I just wasn't. I was feeling like a cranky old man, and he caught me with a kick, and I looked at him and I said, "You get one of those."
Oh.
And then he caught me with another one, and so I put him up against the cage in the clinch, and I walloped him a few times. And then he hit me with an overhand right, and I felt bad about myself again. So karma comes in all shapes and sizes.
That was a nice nice touch there.
Oh, 9-6 Clay.
Right.
Who's leading on this one?
Everybody say something different. Keep going. He's going the other way. So.
Oh. Man, he is moving, baby.
Yeah.
Gosh, he is just
Got off the
moving.
tap rope.
Yeah. Crazy how much just energy he has.
Yeah, it's like, it's not calculated at all. It's just movement.
It is movement, man. Movement.
No, Chico, it's all gravy.
Round
Don't
2.
even sweat it. Don't even sweat it. We got a third round out of it, so what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Clearly something's working for both guys.
100%.
You notice that from the first couple fights we saw of Chico, now he's doing very one-handed.
Yep. Yeah, I have noticed.
1-0 Chico.
Reach is sexy. Let me just throw that out there.
Yeah.
You get a little taste of the extra reach that's provided by a one-handed grip. It don't matter if you're any good. You get addicted to that taste.
100%. And then
You know?
and then you go further and then do the pommel grip, you know. You grip it down at the bottom.
That's when you know that you're a crack addict.
Yeah, I'm not that's not a grip I use personally a lot.
Yeah.
I don't like how weak my grip is in that position.
Again, it's a reach thing. It's sexy to people when they get that reach and they see the success. And you know, depending on the pool of fighters you've got, like if you've got a really big event, well, naturally you're going to have an increase in skill as well as a decrease in skill.
Yeah.
You know, your range of skill is just going to be so big. So you're going to see success doing what I would call a not very good technique, like a pommel grip. Just personal experience and opinion, and you can disagree, and I don't begrudge you that opinion.
The only one who
I just don't think it's a very
Brian
good
Williams
technique.
who can do it, and you can't knock it out of his hand if you try because he's 6'5", like 300 pounds. I think.
Yeah, I mean, and it's sort of like we talked about with was it AJ, you were talking about with the blade in weird places, and it's like it's just that thing that some people can do, but a lot of people try to emulate and they mess it up. You know, if it's not your thing, don't try to make it your thing. Find your thing. So
right.
that reach is it's tough to come back from when you see a little success with it, but reach is not everything. You know, balance, like you said at the beginning and in the middle, balance.
Yeah, 100%. What it boils down to, baby.
I don't know. It might be working for Chico right now, though. So everything I just said might be a shut up, Mark, and just watch the fights kind of situation.
Oh, he's winning 7-5 right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I heard
He's got-
just looked at each other like,
He's kind of entering with a two-handed grip sometimes, but striking in a one-handed grip. I don't know if he even knows he's doing that either. His one-handed isn't bad, though.
Not at all. He goes with a certain pattern, though. So he needs to break out of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Clayton used to be very... Well, Clayton has his own patterns, but the pattern Clayton used to be was just very rhythm back and forth, and you just sway back and forth. You just time it out.
I think with Clay's patterns, too, it's almost more like like drilling, like kata, or combinations that you would drill in a kickboxing class, jab, cross, roundhouse kick, that kind of thing. It's sort of like there's so muscle memory that he almost can't help the patterns, but when he figures it out, that's when he'll see more success. But with Chico, the patterns are sort of like, I want to hit him now, I want to hit him now, I want to hit him now. And as he gets more experience, he'll start to create more muscle memory for combinations and things, you know.
All right. Game point right here.
Movement.
Yeah.
I cannot move for that much. I would be in that corner just waiting for Chico to come in.
That foot got
come
him.
to me, young
See
man.
that?
You got it.
Yep. Footwork got him in the end there.
His ankle's bent over again, and he didn't get an extra inch. If he had that extra inch, that was Chico's match.
Take care of your joints, people.
Yeah.
Young and old alike, take care of your joints.
Here we go. Hapkido, Judo, Taekwondo is what Clay actually did.
Okay. Oh, very interesting.
And this is the finals.
No kendo? Here we are talking.
No, he did kendo. He just didn't put it on there.
Okay. He definitely looks like he did.
So, family affair. We didn't have any refs for this. Because it was fine.
Dark versus light. Poetic.
Oh my gosh. This is such a yin and yang match right here.
Yeah.
Y'all both look mean as hell.
Man, look at that. Oh, look at that blade work. Oh, love it. Oh, makes me happy, man. That was great.
Oh my gosh.
For Clay there.
I think this match has it in the pace category.
Yeah.
So far, coming out with high octane.
Compared to
Ooh, nice
Clay's other opponent, you know, Ryan, like we said, you know, doesn't play around. It's going to be
No.
either, you know, you're going to get countered or you're going to get hit in an open space. And that doesn't tend to prolong fights very much.
We fight a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that chest shot didn't count. Oh,
So they moved it first.
Ryan's got that thing I don't have. Actually, it looks like both these guys have that thing I don't have, which is competitive edge. I just don't give a shit about winning. Sorry, I said a bad word. Like, I just don't care, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not a good thing. You know, like you gotta want to win.
As a quick side note, it isn't something I like talked about a lot, but I'm gonna start because I think it's important. But the way I organize it at Saber Light Nights is everyone has a profile, which is just a description for what they do in the training and what they get out of it. And you know, profiles, competitor, you know, martial artist, hobbyist, just to kind of get people on the path of what they want to do. And you know, like Ryan, you know, be a competitor, and like, you know, Clay or Vince. Then you have people who are more martial artists, you know, it'd be like Evan or Roland or something like that. And I'm kind of like you, like, you know, I don't mind, but you know, I'm not a competitor, so to speak. But I got a little bit of it in me, you know, it's there, definitely.
I'd be lying if I said like I don't want to win or I don't want to hit the other person more or blah blah blah. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, like I just don't care. Like if you we're wrestling and you tap me out, like I just don't care. Or, you know, like if we're kickboxing and you hit me a little more than I hit you, like it's not what I wanted, but I just don't care.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if I like outright lose, I hate myself for a little bit, you know. So there's that.
Clean hit, yeah.
What does Andre say? Andre from San Diego Sabres. Does he say either I won or I lost or I learned? You know,
either I win or I learn. Yeah.
So, but Ryan's like, I'm gonna win, and then I'm gonna still learn, but I'm gonna win.
Yeah, it's not really in me not trying to win.
Yeah,
I could tell.
You're competitor,
freaking
man.
Scary.
Competitive.
Defying individual.
I love how
oh my gosh,
you got your saber like down and you just casually step back and the blade just barely misses you by like an inch. That is just perfect understanding of range. That's just wonderful. Look at that.
Ryan may be one of the rare examples of somebody who's more Gemso than I
am. Funny part about it is a lot of the Makashi techniques that we went over, like Ryan really took and ran with, like to the point of just like borderline mastery. The rising strike, false edge strike. Ryan has made that his own to very high success rate. And you know, we are training Gemso as well. And you know, it's looking good. It's looking great.
Just the posture alone.
Yeah.
The two guys entering the fight. I mean, Ryan's posture is very different than Clay's, but they're both entering there with some swagger, getting into critical distance and flashing blades.
It gives the fight like a lot of personality, actually. Like I appreciate it. It's like a WWE match.
And they look to be similar build too, right? Like they look very
like I said earlier, Mark, brothers.
Overall. Are you for real? You're not for real, brothers.
best friends growing up our entire life.
Yeah, I got you. Sometimes the realest kind of brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are freaking. This is the match right here. It's almost like this had to be the final.
I did have to chuckle though because the last year I had to fight Chris, who was going for Sith Lord. So this year I had to fight Clay, who was going for Sith Lord. I'm like, really?
Man, yeah, it's just funny. Gosh, Chris, if you're watching this, you need to come back. Because that man's potential is astronomical.
What, 12 years younger than I am?
He yeah, I think I even got him by like 2 years or something like that. He needs to, yeah, that dude's potential is just, he's just such a physical fighter, but he's got the technical ability as well. So Chris, let's go.
So, like my training regime was literally made by me to win last year's tournament, and then it was given to Clayton to beat Chris for the Sith Lord title.
Yeah, like here at Saber Light, the only way you can get to master level, if you're dark side, is you got to be the king. You got to beat the rest. You got to be the one true. So that's the idea there. So that's a fight that I still need to have happen.
Yeah. I never opened up like a dark or light side path for my students specifically, but I would always kind of entertain like where you kind of fall on the spectrum of dark versus light.
Yeah.
But I never formally did it because I knew I would have no light siders. Like all my students just be mean as hell, all of them.
Yeah, it's a fun little bit of immersion, and you can add aspects of training into it that you know.
I might do it with this. I'm gonna start a new program here next month, and
nice.
I might entertain that a little bit more.
Do it.
So at least in the way I teach certain forms too, like obviously with Makashi's a good example. Like you can take Makashi into a light side realm of like precision and counter, or you can take it into a dark side realm of constantly being a dick.
Yeah.
Constantly being a rude, awesome fighter. So, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Phenomenal work.
That's it.
Phenomenal work.
There we
Congratulations.
go. Congratulations to Ryan.
Somebody give this man a big ring, a big Super Bowl ring.
The second year winning it. So
I got this beautiful Persuader.
There you go.
There you go.
Another Persuader to your armory, man. What's that? Number 3?
Well, yeah, 3 if you don't count Jenna's. Which actually,
can you have too many?
Yeah, I used Jenna's in the final there, by the way, because I don't have a brutal blade.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, Jenna is his wife. He used her Persuader there at the end.
That's funny. Did you use a Persuader for the whole tournament?
I did. So the other one,
interesting.
Too, and this for the finals, I broke out Jenna's for 2 reasons. One, she's going through a lot of stuff right now, and the other reason was Clayton uses a slightly shorter saber, so I want to try to match him as close as possible.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Mr. Kyle Vass. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
I actually sent back my first Persuader. It was one I got before he started the all-in-one chassis. And he was reached out, and he's kind enough to you know, strip the inside of it and put an all-in-one chassis in there for me. Just because
That's
he's just a
beautiful.
beautiful human being like that. So
That's
I sent that off to him. So, and he's always, you know, got our back and helping us out with these tournaments. The man is an angel, and we love him.
That's true. Master Sabersmith.
That's absolutely it. I guess the next official tournament will be the one that we have in June, Saber Light Summer Open 2. And Kyle will be sponsoring that one, of course.
Awesome.
And you know, Mando Core, who will also be joining us again. And then Ryan with Smokey's Armory. And yeah, of course, you with Living Force Customs. And you know, to be a good time. Hopefully we can get more SMAF bodies in the building. Hopefully Alan can come back. Hopefully you can make it this time, folks.
Yeah, you know I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Try.
Hey, do or do not. There is no try.
Look at this man hitting you with the Yoda.
See, with the counter fighting there. I told with the counter fighting.
He can't help it. That's just what he does. I
love it.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything.
Yeah.
It's been an awesome, fun night of fights, and
good stuff.
It's good.
Yeah. Again, congratulations, Ryan, and thanks everybody.